since I left here, I went through my panels, and the practitioners and the ministers held me in prayer while I was doing that. And you know, when you go to a job interview, you're like,
Oh, yeah.
I really want this job. That's when the butterflies would come up for me, is when I was really, really wanting a job, right? Does that happen to anyone else, or was it just me?
Yes.
Everybody really, really want. I remember the very first time I was applying for a job at Yardage Fair. Yardage Fair, a fabric store in San Jose, and I had these butterflies. I was like, why am I feeling this way? It's because I really wanted that job. Why? It was walking distance to my house. All of my friends worked there. And I thought it would be fun. I loved crafts. I loved sewing at the time. So I was going to work at this fabric store, and they had these, I didn't know, if I open my mouth, is the butterfly's going to come out, right? That's what I thought at 14, right? I kind of felt that way. And so I went into the Zoom room. This was all done on Zoom, and they said, hi, Eileen, we are. They introduced themselves, and they said, we're here to love you.
Wow.
And I went, oh, good. All right, I could do this. Well, earlier in the day, I had called my dear friend, Reverend Michelle in
New Jersey.
New Jersey. Thank you.
Wadley.
Michelle Wadley in New Jersey. She is, Michelle pulls no punches with me. She just tells me the truth. And I called her and she said, I only have a second, what's going on? I said, I'm dialing into my panels. And she said, you've got this. You're already a minister. Tell that monkey mind of yours to shut up and sit down. Okay. Okay, so I did. But I went from that right to a retreat with Sacramento Center for Spiritual Awareness in West Sacramento, which was amazing. Next year, I want all of us to go. It was fantastic. Men and women, it was awesome. I used to do this retreat years ago, a retreat like this with the same woman that ran it. And I used to call that my New Year's. You know, people would say, what's your New Year's resolution? I'd say, I don't have one. What? I don't have a New Year's resolution. What I do is I do these deep spiritual retreats in September of every year, and something within me shifts. It usually takes about a month or two, so hang on. I don't know what's going to happen, but something will shift in me. I came home from that. I was home for a couple of days, and then Mark and I hopped in the car. We went to Reno to see our son, his son, my son, I claim it. Go to a wedding, came back. We drove back with all the people coming from Burning Man. That was wild. That was wild. Lots of dust. Not as much mud this year. You have not seen anything, George, until you have seen a ship drive down the freeway. A ship. I looked over, I thought, what is that? It's a weird looking car. And I look over, and there's somebody driving it. It was a blue boat, and it was driving the speed limit down the freeway. I thought, oh, I love Burning Man for that. I love it. All right, let's get to our talk. Hold on, let me set my timer. Eileen, you're only allowed to talk for a certain amount of time. These people want to go home. There we go. All right, so our talk title today, well, waking up to oneness. Anybody wake up to oneness this morning?
Yes.
Yeah. Anybody wake up to chaos this morning? Yeah, it happens, right? My life has been chaos. I've been like, I left from here, I went back to San Jose, I was there for a couple days, I picked up my husband, I left him again. He says, do you live here? The cats are here, the birds are here, my husband's here, I must live here. Yeah. I left him again for a few days, came home, home for a couple of days, and then we left together again. I came home for a couple of days, and then I left to come back here, to this home. It's like, talk about discombobulated, right?
You need to be young.
What's that?
You need to be young.
I need to be young. I am young, darn it.
I know.
I saw a comedian this morning, and he said, you know, 50s are like the freshman year of your of being a senior.
Yeah.
And I thought, yeah. But they don't give you orientation like they do your freshman year in high school or college, do they? No, they just throw you in. Here you go. Anyway, I digress. Waking up to oneness. That's my goal every day. When I worked in high tech, I woke up to chaos. I woke up to my phone going off. I woke up to, like, oh, I have to do these things. Or I wake up in the middle of the night. I have to take care of I got to the point where I kept a notepad by my desk, or by my bed. So when I woke up in the middle of the night, I wouldn't even turn on the light. I would just write down whatever it was so I could go to sleep. Right? It was chaos. When I go back down to the Bay Area, I feel it. I come up here, I'm like, I'm home. I'm home. You know, it feels good to come home. It used to be when I would come down the hill into Petaluma, my shoulders would drop. It's still not. It's right about 3 miles in 128. I'm like, okay, I'm on the land of my people, right? This is you all plus the Curitan family, right? I'm here on the land of my people, which makes me feel really good. But today we're talking about being at peace. Are you at peace with everyone you meet? No?
Depends on your definition.
Depends on your definition. I've got a great story I'm going to start with. This is a story that supports today's topic. Today was a difficult day, said Pooh. There was a pause. Do you want to talk about it? Asked Piglet. No, said Pooh after a bit. No, I don't think I do. That's okay, Piglet said, and he came and he sat beside his friend. What are you doing? Asked Pooh. Nothing, really, said Piglet. Only I know what difficult days are like. I quite often don't feel like talking about it on my difficult days either. But goodness, said Pooh, difficult days are so much easier when you know you've got someone there with you. And I'll always be here for you, Pooh. As Pooh sat there working through his head his difficult day, while the solid, reliable Piglet sat next to him quietly swinging his little legs, Pooh thought that this was the best, that his best friend had never been more right. Yeah. It was just the other day I saw somebody struggling. I didn't say anything. I just walked over and sat next to her and held her hand. I didn't need to say anything. Just needed to sit there. All right? There was nothing I can do but just sit there and swing my legs and just be present. It's so important, and that's what your friends do, right? That's what your friends do. When we view the world through the lens of otherness or separation, and you know what separation, the history of that word means to be in pieces, right? It can be a really scary place. We might not feel safe and feel like we feel like we need to protect ourselves. We do this a lot. We sit like this a lot, right? Sometimes we sit like this because it's comfortable, but if your shoulders are up like this, you're shut off, right? Right? You turn your back, you kind of look down, you don't look at people straight in the eye. Spiritual wisdom and tools, those can help awaken us to rise to the truth that, as Dr. Ernest Holmes says, peace is always at the center of our own soul. Oneness, peace, and harmony prevail. So I'm going to talk to you today about 3 things. Namaste, pausing for peace, and choosing our peace. Ready? Namaste, you've all heard that word, namaste.
Right here on our plaque.
It's right here, exactly on our plaque. It means what?
I honor God.
Honor the divinity within me.
I honor the divinity within you. Or the divinity that is within me sees the divinity that is within you. So when we wake up from this unconscious sleep that we tend to walk through life with sometimes, and we choose to have this conscious awareness, that's when we move into that place of oneness and compassion and peace. So I'm going to invite you to look around the room and notice all the different people. Just look. Notice. All right, so now I'm going to invite you to just close your eyes and go within. Consciously move your attention and energy to your heart space. And breathe into your heart. Feel the divine within. Feel a sense of oneness with all beings. Feel safety. Feel peace. Breathe all of that in. And now I'm going to invite you to slowly open your eyes and look around the room again, only this time from your heart center. Look at each other in the eyes and feel the word namaste. The divine in me recognizes and honors the divine in you. Do you feel the shift into oneness in the room? A peacefulness that's come into the room? Yeah. Yeah. That's namaste. That's namaste. It's that simple. I wouldn't recommend closing your eyes when you're driving in traffic. But you could do it standing in line at Safeway. Right? It's those lines. Oh Lord. Right? You can look around, close your eyes for a moment, feel that sense of oneness, and then look around again. Suddenly the line doesn't seem so long, right? Give it a chance. The other one, pausing for peace. This is going to be my new slogan, pausing for peace. Viktor Frankl says, between the stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space lies our freedom and power to choose our responses. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. The fascinating thing is that within that space, that pause, that nanosecond, we tell ourselves an entire story. Nobody's ever done that. It's only me, right? Right? We were in the middle of COVID, right at the first year of COVID, and I had a director that I was supporting who wanted us, all the leadership on his team, to get together, to go to the office and have an all-day meeting in one room. I was like, we can't do that. One, the office isn't open. They're not going to let us in. Well, I need you to call security, and I need you to get us permission so we could go in. And I said, it's not going to happen. We can't. The county has shut us down. We cannot go into the office. But he wanted everybody together in a room at the height of COVID. Where did my mind go? It went to, we're all going to get sick. Somebody's going to die. Oh my God, I can't do it. I had a panic attack. I haven't had a panic attack since I was a kid. I had a full-blown panic attack. I told myself this whole story that quickly. That terrible things were going to happen because VJ needed us to be in a meeting. I freaked out. I had to walk away. I texted a friend. I couldn't even call. I texted a friend. I think I'm having a panic attack. She walked me through it. Thank goodness. But every time he would bring that up again, I would feel that starting to rise. And I'd have to stop and breathe. Okay, wait. I'll ask. I'll copy him on the email. He'll see the email that says absolutely no. And I'll tell him, if you need to do it somewhere else, then you can, but I'm not going to attend. I'll dial in on Zoom. I'm not comfortable, right? Every single time he would bring that up, I would start this, because in that nanosecond, all that chaos would happen, right? None of it had any meaning. None of it was actually happening. It was all in my head. And yet I had a panic attack. It was scary, folks. I've never had one like that before. Whew, I had some panic moments, but never like that. It was just an idea that I allowed to take over. When we practice the pause, this is what my friend had me do. Slow down and breathe. She had me slow down and breathe. She had me focus on my breath. She had me look at and identify 4 things in the room. Right? She had me breathe again. It made a huge difference. She, without even knowing, was teaching me how to pause for peace. How to pause for peace. You know, Byron Katie wrote in her book, Loving What Is, that we ask ourselves in those moments, is it true? Is it really true? If we ask ourselves those questions, it gives us a perspective and brings us to the present moment. Brings us back into the present moment, just like breathing and identifying. Clock, whiteboard, I think that's a ball or a balloon, guitar, okay. I was present, I was in this space. So think of that. Is it true? Is it really true? We were in the car Monday, driving home from east of Reno. Lots of traffic. Didn't matter if Mark was driving or I was driving, we both got a little irritated. I said, let's pull over and get a snack. He said, don't we have snacks? I said, I need to get out of the car and stretch my legs. It was a long drive. It was a really long drive. It was 8 hours. That's right, it was because of a great weekend. Anyway, I said, I need to get out of the car, stretch my legs a little bit. And as we got out of the car, I said to him, you know what I realized? He said, what's that? I said, I'm trying to push the traffic in my head. He went, really? I said, yeah, I'm trying to push the traffic in my head. It's not doing me any good and it's just irritating me. I need to stop. He went, how are you going to do that? And I'm not going to do it because this floor is really loud, but I stomp my feet. Bam, bam. I said, okay, back in my body, not pushing the traffic. One of my practitioner emeritus, B.J. King, says, don't push the river. She started telling me that when I was a teenager. Eileen, don't push the river. Yeah, Eileen, don't push the traffic. They're not going to go anywhere. You can't do this. It's just slowing everybody down. That's what I wanted to do. No. Just pause for peace. This leads right into choosing our peace. You know, so I chose to choose my battle, right? In that moment. It's like, I'm not battling this. I'm not battling in traffic. I'm going to go with the flow. There were moments in my own head I was like, get out of the slow lane, Eileen. Get out of the slow lane. No, just go with the flow. You know that monkey mic? If they would just go faster, we'd all get home at a decent hour. I'm still going to get home before midnight. Actually, before 5. But still, right? So when we're in a world where people choose their battles, let's consciously choose our peace. Let's consciously choose our peace. You might have heard that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. That's what I was doing in my head. I was doing the same thing over and over, trying to push the traffic, and nothing was changing. Instead, when I settled down, I saw that boat driving down the freeway. I went, well, that's kind of interesting. I started to look at, and by that point I could put Mark in the driver's seat. I started to look at the people that were coming home from Burning Man. They were obviously had a good time. They were tanned, they were dirty, their trailers were dirty. You know, they looked like they had had fun. And I thought, isn't that cool? There are people of all ages. I saw more older people than I did younger people driving home, by the way, that are returning back from a weekend of really good fun. I'm going to celebrate that. So I started waving at people. Smiling and waving, and they were smiling and waving back like, this is my gift for Burning Man, I'm going to smile and wave at you, right? Like, it completely shifted. I do silly things like that in the car, and Mark looks at me and goes, what are you doing? I said, I'm having fun. I said, okay. Okay. He's getting used to me. It's only been 10 or 12 years. He's getting used to me.
A while longer.
What's that?
A little while longer.
Yeah, he needs a little while longer. So we have to ask ourselves, what is the outcome we want? I had to stop and get out of the car and stomp my feet on the ground and say, what is the outcome I want? I want this to be a fun drive home. So, Dr. Holmes said, peace comes from a sense of union with the whole. Confusion comes from a sense of separation. Confusion comes from a sense of separation. When I was freaking out about VJ wanting to have that meeting, I was in confusion. I was feeling separate. I wasn't aligned with with my higher power, with God, goddess, whatever you want to call it. I wasn't aligned with it. I was aligned with the chaotic news spewing crap at me, telling me how terrible the world is. I had forgotten that great lesson I learned a long time ago. The news is the news because it's the exception, not the norm. Yeah, that is good, huh? Yeah. The news, you don't turn on the news to hear 4 billion people didn't die today. 17 million people made it through traffic with no problems today. You don't hear that. You hear the terrible, odd things that happen. Right? I was tuned into the chaotic news, not into who I was. So here's what I'm asking you to do this week. Remembering that quote, peace comes from a sense of union with the whole. Continue to keep yourself connected to that still small voice within you. Keep doing your daily practices. When we intentionally wake up from the illusion of separation, we're having a grand rising into oneness. Now, let's put all these pieces together, right? We've learned to live from a place of namaste. Seeing God in everyone that we meet, right? We also learn to practice to pause for peace. Compassionately asking ourselves, what's the story that we're telling ourselves? Asking ourselves, is this real? And then consciously choose, what do we want? We have to take our power back and choose peace. When we do these things and consciously choose peace, we're making the world more peaceful. If I'm choosing peace, I'm making the world more peaceful. If we all choose peace, what happens? Peace happens, right? One of my very favorite things that happens once a year is the World Peace Meditation. Have you all done that? Is it 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning? Something like that, Phyllis says. Where people gather together and they meditate on peace. It's 4 in the morning our time because it's noon, mean Greenwich time, right? Can you imagine if the whole world stopped and focused on peace just for 10 minutes? What would happen? So stop, focus on peace. All right. I'm going to go over a minute. Are you okay with that? All right, because I'm going to give you something else to do. This is the Buddhist loving kindness metta prayer. Has anybody done this before? This is my gift to you. All right, so here's what I want you to do. Start with yourself. Say, may I be happy. May I be happy. May I be well. May I be well. May I be safe. May I be safe. May I be peaceful and at ease.
May I be peaceful and at ease.
Now, I want you to think about someone you love and say to them, may you be happy.
May you be happy.
May you be well.
May you be well.
May you be safe.
May you be safe.
May you be peaceful and at ease.
May you be peaceful and at ease.
Now, I want you to think about someone you're kind of neutral about. And say to them, may you be happy.
May you be happy.
May you be well.
May you be well.
May you be safe.
May you be safe.
May you be peaceful and at ease.
May you be peaceful and at ease.
Feels good, huh? One more. Think of someone who just pushes one of your buttons. That you are not, or two. Thank you. Someone that you have a challenge with. Close your eyes, imagine them in front of you. Put them right in front of you and say to them, may you be happy.
May you be happy.
May you be well.
May you be well.
May you be safe.
May you be safe.
May you be peaceful and at ease.
May you be peaceful and at ease.
Oh, thank you. So let's say this to the entire world. Actually, stand up and say this with me. There's something about standing up that really anchors something in our bodies, right? right? Let's say this together. May everyone be happy.
May everyone be happy.
May everyone be well.
May everyone be well.
May everyone be safe.
May everyone be safe.
May everyone be peaceful and at ease.
May everyone be peaceful and at ease.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you. Thank you. You may be seated. I will put that in our newsletter for anybody who wants it, so it will be available to you. That's one of my favorites. I'm sorry?
Andy taught it to us.
Andy taught it to us?
It was Andy's prayer.
Wow.
That. The Buddhist metta prayer, was that something you taught us?
Yeah. You did.
He doesn't remember now.
Yes, yes. There's a choir, there used to be a choir that would sing it. May you be filled with loving kindness, may you be well, may you be peaceful and at ease, and may you be happy. Yeah.
Sounds like Karen Drucker.
It does. It does. Yeah, Karen Drucker. There was another, yeah. Of course, Isaiah Choir did it, but then I just sang the Karen Drucker version, didn't I? Yeah. Yeah.
Sing it again.
What's that?
Can you sing it again one more time, please? Encore.
May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. And may you be happy. Yeah. I sing that in my head.
A lot of Drucker songs running around in my head.
A lot of Drucker songs, and Melissa Felipe songs, and Gary Allen Floyd songs. By the way, he is coming in the first quarter of next year.
All right.
Yes, I saw him last weekend. He's excited to come. So, all right, let's do our gifts, tithes, and offerings. So take your gift. If it's cash, please put it in an envelope with your name on it so we can account for it. There should be an envelope on your chair. If not, there's one in the basket. And let us, where did I put it? Read the giving affirmation. I have it right here. Thank you. I hold mine over my heart. Why? Because this is coming from my heart. My law of circulation is not just money. Well, what is money? It's a movement of energy, right? And I truly believe in giving back to my community, right? So read this with me. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give joyously as a consciousness of abundance.
And
Right.
Georgia Regita wrote that.
Yes, awesome.
100 years ago.
I'm going to go ahead and start this way and working around and invite